Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dude, I Love My Car. And next to me is Alexander Madigan, and he was kind enough to bring in his brand new Honda Civic Touring.
Yes.
So, Alexander, talk to me about why you decided to buy a Civic.
I looked at a couple of different cars. So I looked at the Corolla, the Civic, and I think it was the Sentra.
Okay.
It was one of the Nissans. Anyway, I was looking for something that had adaptive cruise control that, well, was good. And Honda is the only one that has low speed following at this price point. So the other, both Nissan and Toyota, their adaptive cruise control turned off at 25 miles an hour or lower. In the Honda, it stays on below 25 and will come to a complete stop and hold it for 3 seconds before it pauses. But it'll still hold after that 3 seconds. You just have to hit start again. It's amazing in traffic.
Yeah, so you can use it basically not just on the highway, but even on
Yes.
like a 2-lane road where there's a lot of traffic.
Yep. As long as there's someone in front of me that stops at the stop sign or red light in front of me, I'm good.
But you still have to keep your hand on the steering wheel. You have to steer it.
Below 45, yes.
Oh, above 45 you don't?
Above 45, it has lane keeping assist, which is still an assist. It
Right.
doesn't. It's not that amazing. It's a cool party trick for like 10 seconds down the highway, but anything more than that, you definitely still want to steer.
All right, well, the car's behind us, and of course, as always, we're going to do a walk around and kind of show you the car and show you what is unique about it. But before we do that, tell me, how much was it, and how much did you pay for it?
All right, sticker on it is $27,495.
Yep.
I paid $26,900, and then I got tint and a clear bra, and that brought it up another $600, so pretty much $27,500.
Now, when you went to buy it, you've had it, what, 2.5 months now, right?
Yes.
When you went to buy it, did you want a red one, or was that one on the lot? Why did you go with that car?
Why red?
Yeah.
I honestly went in there going for like a dark gray one.
Okay.
It's just the same color as the car I had prior.
Yeah.
And I liked it, and I was like, I kind of want a more exciting color. What options do we have? And it was, besides the array of gray, blue, or grays, whites, and blacks, it was blue and red. And I liked the red better, so I just picked red.
Now, this is your second car.
Yes.
And what was your first car?
I had a 2005 Ford Escape Limited.
And you've taken both of them to Bandimere, which is our local drag strip. Yeah. What was your time in the Ford, and what was your time in the Civic?
In the Ford, it was a very, I'll call it modest, 19 and a half second quarter mile.
All right, that's pretty. Oh, you broke into 20s. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That's like our Aztec, right?
Yeah.
We managed to get 20s in the Aztec.
And that was the fastest time. And then the fastest on the Civic is a 15.97 so far.
So you got a 15-second car.
Yes.
Now keep in mind, guys, we're at a mile above sea level,
Yep.
and we do a lot of videos, and if we don't say that, people freak out because the cars are much slower up here. At least on 0 to 60 times a second, and I think when you're doing quarter-mile times, it's much slower.
Actually, in this case, on the Escape, it was way off.
Yeah.
But on this one, on paper, I believe it's 15.5 or 15.4
So half a
something
second.
or other. So it's pretty close to what it's supposed to be.
And that's because it's a turbo.
Yes.
All right. So, of course, one of the reasons you buy a Civic. Did you buy it or did you lease it, by the way?
It is a lease, but I plan to buy it at the end of the lease.
Okay, and how much did you pay for that?
About $308 a month.
That's not bad.
No.
All right. And so you do plan to make some changes to it, right? So
Yeah.
what are your, first of all, have you done any modifications?
I've done one modification, sort of, which is just kind of a boost gauge just shoved in there. I have to make a mount for it, but it was just more of a, because I'm curious kind of thing. The next plan is an intake, an aftermarket blow-off valve, just because that one just doesn't make any noise, and I want to hear a little bit. And then a tune.
Yeah, because, flash tunes are pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
How much power can you get out of a tune?
In my
stage one, at least.
In my case, the maximum I can go, since I got the CVT, which is part of the adaptive cruise control thing, is plus 6 pounds on the wastegate, which adds about 25 horsepower and 35 foot-pounds of torque on the dyno.
So now you're getting how many horsepower?
That would bring it up from 174 to about 200.
All right, yeah, so that's a pretty decent number. Have you seen any kind of torque steer with it? Do you feel like you're losing control of the front wheels?
Not at all.
No.
When I'm accelerating. When I brake pretty hard, if I'm going quicker, so like 70, 80, I have to brake pretty hard on the highway, I definitely notice it pull to one side or the other. I'm not sure if that's just me doing it or the road or whatever else, but I notice that pretty consistently, which is kind of frustrating, but I'm used to it now, so.
One of the reasons we do this show is because we only get cars for a week, and this is our chance to kind of find out how cars, and your chance to find out how cars do over a longer period of time. So you've had yours for 2.5 months.
Yes.
How many miles you put on it?
About 3,300.
So 3,300 miles, not a huge amount of time. Have you had any issues with it?
Actually one.
Okay.
Actually, this past week I had all the check engine lights come on, like every single.
What?
Yeah, it was just every single
Like a
light that
Christmas
came
tree
on.
just went?
Yeah, it was like I was like, okay, why aren't they turning off? And then I started hearing beeping, and it just disconnected the battery, reconnected it, and everything went away. I'm not really sure what caused it. I called the dealership, and they were like, well, if you fixed it, then good enough.
Well, apparently, did you know this, that there's a fuse in there that they put into the fuse box when they ship it, which disables everything, and then you could, I guess, put that back in there and reset the entire system. So the battery will do a reset, but it won't reset everything. That fuse apparently that they use for shipping will reset everything, but which fuse that is and how to find it, you have to ask our man Honda Pro Jason, because I'm not that versed in Hondas. So only one issue. Did you do anything to it, or was it just out of the blue, just all of a sudden the Christmas
I just
tree?
turned it on one day. This past week,
Yeah.
actually, it was 2 days ago. Reset the battery and everything fixed itself. So I don't know. It's kind of strange. Today, the outside temperature sensor is reading 65.
It's
not 65.
It's a little warmer out there.
Yeah, it's
probably
been
80s.
85-ish, I think. So it should be reading even hotter since it's been in the sun all day. But and then the radio is kind of slow, but that's to be expected with any touchscreen radio. So
Yeah, and do you miss? This is my pet peeve, of course. You missed the volume knob.
a little bit.
Yeah.
The one on the radio.
There's the one over here, right? The thumb one.
Yeah, the one on the steering wheel is pretty good.
Yeah.
That one is usable.
Yeah.
Because you just move your finger up and down and it raises it up and down, or you can press it up and down. The one on the radio is useless.
Yeah.
I don't like passengers asked to like change the volume. It's just like nah.
Don't
I'll just do
even
it for
try.
you.
Yeah, it was funny because when they recently introduced some of their newer products, Honda, they made a point of telling us that they've gone back to actually having a volume knob, and I was like, wow, that was brain.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Bust, right? I mean, come on, a volume knob, you got rid of it. I have to ask this question. What's your dream car? If you had, would it be a Type R? I guess that's where I'm going.
Actually, no.
No?
I want to get a Trackhawk. Which I
Really?
saw you guys drive one, and I'm kind of jealous. I think they're awesome. I would love to have an SUV with that much horsepower. So that's.
But you
the
can
goal.
get 4 of those for one Trackhawk.
Yeah, I'm fully aware.
And how old are you?
I'm 18.
Yeah, that would be a rather hefty insurance payment, I'm thinking. Even
Yeah,
if
it's
it'd be
gonna
a
be a
hefty
lot.
insurance payment for me, and I'm an old guy, I can't imagine what it would be like for you.
I'll just get like an older SRT8 and just like dump a supercharger. It's fine.
All right, well, let's take a walk around the car. Why don't you show us the car? We'll get the camera, and I love the color, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
think it's really pops.
I tell you what color it is, but I couldn't tell you anything other than red. It is just red. There's not 4 different colors of red you can get from Honda. It's just red.
It's got to have a name, right? It's got to have something like Mica Red, or...
I actually have the window sticker.
Yeah, let's get the window sticker. Let's find out what that thing is officially called.
I haven't taken it out yet, so.
Yeah, he's got all the bells and whistles on this one. The cool thing about this generation of Civic, of course, is that it's got a lot of room in it. All right, so here's the sticker.
There you
Nice.
go.
And the color should be, usually it's on top here. Rally red.
There you go.
There you go. Let's show them the inside.
Sure. So
Well, you got all the bells and whistles.
there's only one option that this car doesn't have.
Show them how you get in.
So
Is that cool?
there's a sensor behind the handle on both sides. It has proximity, so keyless entry. Remote entry. I'm not really sure what it's called, but I have the key in my pocket, and that helps. So leather interior. This is not really heated seats on front and back.
Heated seats in the front and in the back. Did you hear that, guys?
I have junk back there. Whoops.
Okay.
Forgot to clean that. It's not too bad, but yeah. They're just seats. There's nothing special in the back. There's no climate control vents or anything like that.
Why don't you show them the damage that somebody did to your car today?
Well, it was the
sweet,
past few
right?
days. It was
Yeah.
this past Saturday.
Yeah, go show 'em.
It kind of amazed me that it happened because it is a Honda. But someone came over here. I'm not sure if you can get it around, but they just went while I was at work with a screwdriver and just pried the Honda emblem off, and you could see the gash where the badge used to be. So if anyone has any ideas on what I could put there besides a replacement Honda emblem, let me know. I'd love to see it. I'll definitely check the comments later.
Sorry I'm reaching into your car, but of course you know that this is the bottom of the tray,
Yes.
right? And there's a little Easter egg that Honda hid on the back of it, and there it is. Check it out, guys. It's a little Honda motorcycle, the Honda Jet, one of the original Honda cars, and of course the Formula One car, which is sucking wind.
Now, if I remember right, I think there's
Can you guys see that? Yeah.
There's several different versions of those. I think there's like 4 or 6. I can't remember exactly, but there is a different series. There are different series of them.
The power of dreams. Hey, let's open the hood and show them what's under the hood.
There's not very much under there because it's all covered, but I can point some stuff out.
Yeah, let's show them. It's not that covered. Look at that. You can see everything. This is
Oh,
actually
sort of.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, of course you've got the Earth Dreams engine, but the cool part is you've got a turbo.
Yeah, it's right down there. It's kind of hidden by the intake runner there, but it's down there.
Yeah, it's all pretty accessible. It's it's very Honda-like.
It's all easy to work on.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of this car? Would you say it's the fact that it's a four-door? Is it the fact that it's got a turbo? Is it the fact that it's a Honda?
Coming from an SUV,
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to throw it around a corner at 40.
Yeah.
um,
Does it stick pretty well?
the tires are garbage.
Yeah.
The factory tires are. I need to get new tires. That's coming pretty soon. Probably just all-season Michelin Defenders, something like that. There you go.
Is it going to hurt to drive it in the snow?
We'll find out. My SUV was intelligent four-wheel drive, so it was front-wheel drive 99% of the time, and it wasn't intelligent, so it was always front-wheel drive. So it shouldn't be too much different. This is way lower. This car scrapes on like everything, which is frustrating, but oh well.
So let's talk about. Let me get this for you here. Hold on. Let's talk about Honda. Actually, Honda is kind of in an interesting place. The company was built and founded on. Actually, let's move a little closer so they can hear us. The company was built and founded on engineering, and recently, in some ways, Honda has lost their way. Right? They were building cars that weren't necessarily derivative, but they were more like Toyota. So Toyota is the world's biggest car manufacturer. And the way that Toyota works is they do these incremental changes, right? So they'll take a car, and if it's not perfect, in 2 years they'll make it a little bit better, and in 2 years they'll make it a little bit better, and they just kind of keep making cars better and better and perfecting them. It's a very Japanese way of doing business. And Honda recently said that they kind of try to compete with Toyota by doing that same thing. But Honda was never about that. They were always about coming up with really smart, intelligent, clever engineering. And so they kind of try to compete with Toyota at their own game, and it didn't work. The previous generation, actually 2 generations ago of the Civic, was pretty much a dud.
I see them around on occasion. I don't really think they look all too great. They're exactly what I think the Civic was trying to be at that point, which was point A to point B and not much more.
Yeah, and now they've kind of gotten their mojo back with this car. But still, when you look at some of their new cars, they're kind of hit or miss, right? The Cross Tour, yeah, didn't exactly knock the world over. And Mike, we're going to get to the viewer questions. Are there any questions that people are asking us that Alexander can answer?
Well, everyone wants to know about VTEC.
Yeah, VTEC, of course.
That's what the turbo's for. They're actually, officially speaking, there is no VTEC. The turbo comes on sometime around 2,000, 2,200 RPM. And once it does, it pulls pretty hard, which is nice. There's the answer to the sort of VTEC. Actually, hang on. I do have some VTEC in the back. Hang on.
All right, he's going to get some VTEC. Now, of course, VTEC is the way the valves work, and Honda was known for this. So after you got to higher RPM, all of a sudden, the timing of the valves, I'm messing this up.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Honda VTEC. So you do have some VTEC.
I got the yo.
Oh, yo. Yeah, of course. Would change, and the engine would become very revvy, and you'd have a lot of power, and it was what Honda was known for. Unfortunately, Yo VTEC, or VTEC Yo, right?
VTEC.
Yo, yeah, it doesn't help us much up here at a mile above sea
No.
level. So this I know for sure. What happens at a mile above sea level is the air density. We have just as much air up here, but the molecules are farther apart. And so what a turbo does is it helps jam air into the combustion chamber, so it compresses the air. So even though there is still lesser air density, the turbo helps kind of make up for it. And so you do get more power. And basically the rule of thumb that we follow is you lose 10% power for every 3,000 feet of elevation gain.
I heard that we lose somewhere between 20 and 22% at altitude here.
Yeah, which makes
seems
about sense.
right.
Yeah, about 5,000 you're gonna. So at about 10,000 feet above sea level, which is where like a lot of the skiers are, Vail, Breckenridge, we're at 30% less horsepower, which is significant when you're driving a car, and the turbo helps make up for that.
Very much so. My SUV had it had 200 horsepower, 200 horsepower V6. This is 174 horsepower 4-cylinder, and it is faster in pretty much every way.
All right, any more questions there, Michael?
Yeah, so there's one question about driving dynamics. What's it like in the corners, I guess? You said it was kind of good, right?
Let me repeat the question because they can't hear him. Somebody wants to know, who wants to know that? Do you remember?
I don't.
One of our viewers wants to know, what's it like in the corners?
It's pretty fun. It holds pretty well. The right turns, I could take somewhere around 35-ish before the tires start to squeal. That's just because they're cheap tires. But it's pretty fun. I'm able to take left turns at like 45 without, and that's where it starts to squeal the tires, and that's where it's really fun to pull in a corner. The seats are okay. They're pretty supportive for the car that it is, and it'll hold you well enough through a corner.
Joshua wants to know how headroom is for the second row for people 6 feet and over. Should we go hop in the back seat?
Yeah, I can make some room.
Yeah, let me go. Hold on, Joshua. I'll just jump in.
This side's clear.
This side. I'll just jump really quickly.
Just keep whatever's in the van, okay?
we'll show you guys. Move the. There's a lot of room back here. This is very impressive.
I think the front seat's like all the way back too, or close to all the way
front
back.
seat's all the way back. I have knee room, and there's a little scallop here.
Here, I can move the front seat forward and like give you a
That's
chance.
okay. That's good. This is actually good. Seats all the way back. I have a scalloped area, and you know what? This is incredible. It's just huge. It really is. This Civic is about the size of the previous Accord. It's that big.
It is a big car.
It's a big car, yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's comfortable. And of course, this one looks like a hatchback, but it's not.
The hatchback is like a little bit taller and it has an extra spoiler.
You'd have to get the hatchback. But the trunk is actually pretty cavernous.
The trunk is pretty big. I can
Let's
open it
show
up.
'em,
There's
yeah.
not too much in there.
Yeah, show 'em.
Where I was gonna stuff all this stuff in the back seat.
Someone wants you to get in the trunk room, and do you think you can fit in there?
That's the thing Nathan does.
I would try, but
No, I could fit in there. Yeah.
it's pretty deep. It goes pretty deep in there. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, no,
I can
this-
put like that so you can sort of see like as a contrast.
Alexander, both of us could get in there.
Probably.
Yeah, this will
Be
easily.
a little snug, but
Yeah, it'll easily hold golf clubs have been the standard. So
you could probably fit like 2 or 3 bags in there.
I think it fit like 3 at least. 3 bags of golf clubs. So yeah, it's got tons of room. And of course, there's 3 models of the Civic. There's the Civic, there's the Civic SI, and then there's the
Hatchback.
the Civic SI is 200 horsepower, and then there's a Type R.
Yes. Type R is cool. I've seen 2 of them. Funny enough, one of the ones that was sold, or one of the first ones that was sold in the area,
Yeah.
was sold the same day I was getting mine. He was driving off the lot as I was getting my keys. And I met the guy at one of the car meets here. I was talking to him about it. He thought the story was pretty cool. He says he loves his car and it draws plenty of attention.
Yeah, the Type R has got a lot of air, like spoilers and
Yes, a lot of
aerodynamic aids on the vehicle. Of course, people are asking way too much over sticker right now. The dealers are.
I was
crazy.
reading a news story and they just wrote dealer markup $15,000. So
Yeah. So yeah, and that's because they're only building, I think 3,000, if I remember right, for 2017 before they start the new. So basically, every dealer in America gets 1 or 2 cars, and they're making the most of it. Unfortunately. Yes, Michael. Any other questions?
Dodge 318 Cummins wants to know why you didn't get a coupe.
Yeah. So Dodge 318 Cummins. Let me repeat the question. Wants to know why didn't you get a coupe?
They didn't have one on the lot, and I didn't really get the chance to see one. So I was just, I don't mind the 4 doors anyway. I take friends around and stuff, so it makes it easier.
Any other questions?
That's it.
Well, guys, thank you for visiting us for another episode of Dude, I Love My Ride. As always, we like to thank our guests. So I'm going to give you a choice of hats here, but this is going to be, I think, pretty easy for you. So let me show you the hats. So here's a Formula One hat from the Chinese Grand Prix. That's pretty cool. This is probably pretty expensive. Here's an Alfa Romeo hat. So here's a Dodge Dart hat. Of course, we get these from manufacturers. Here's an American Titan hat, and you can have any of these. Here's a Ram Clutches hat, not a Ram hat. Here's a Nissan Off-Road Experience hat, and of course, the last one we have is a Honda hat.
Well, I guess it does make it pretty easy then.
So which one do you want?
Oh, let's see. Nissan. I'll take the Honda hat.
You'll
Thank
take
you.
the Honda hat. Okay, I figured that was something that would be nice. And guys, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below. This week we've had a really good Dude, I Love My Ride. Michael, have you been watching our Dude, I Love My Ride? Did you see the earlier one?
The lifted Subaru XT?
Yes, that's right. We had a lifted Subaru XT. And you know what? We're going to do a link to that, like right where you're sitting. Yeah, so right there. Yeah, we'll do a link to that one. So if you want to watch a lifted Subaru Forester XT, check that out. Or please, if you like this show, don't forget to subscribe. I'll do the subscribe over here. As always, this is Roman and my new friend Alexander Madigan.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I really appreciate the fact that you brought your car in and shared it with us and shared it with, me.
No problem. Thank you.